The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily represent those of this station or its management.
It's time now for Where You Live with Gene Sullivan, the show that deals with the news and events that affect you the most. Whether you rent or own, live in an HOA, single-family home, or an apartment building, Gene will tackle the issues right where you live. So, from the True North Painting Studios, here is the original man of steel, Resolve himself, who stands for truth, justice, and the association way. Here's Gene Sullivan.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, and I'm broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. When you're looking for the right painting contractor, what do you look for? Isn't it someone who'll respect you, your time, your property, and your budget? That's what you can expect from True North Painting. Find out more about this exceptional company by going online at truenorthpainting.com. That's trunorthpainting.com, or give them a call at 952-831-1433. I'm also brought to you by the great folks at Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. I'd like to give a shout out, as I do always, to Christopher Weider Huberty. How are you, Chris?
Good, Gene. Have you recovered from all the fair food and all that from a week or so ago?
Yes, I have. I probably stopped eating fair food, I think, a day or two before my last day there. I think I had my fill prior to the end.
It doesn't take long, and once you hit that wall, it's rough.
Yeah, I have my son has a friend who, when he was hired right out of high school to work for a vending machine company, and they had all prepackaged sandwiches and chips and candy and goodies and everything. He had a requirement for everybody that was going to work there: eat as much as you want. And so, of course, guys being guys, they just started eating as much as they wanted, opening things up. But it was probably pretty wise on his part, because within about the first week, most people working there said, I don't want to touch this stuff again, right? So there was no stealing. There was no problems that he had. They had their fill. And every year, the state fair is the same way, isn't it? We look forward to it, then we get our fill, and then we can't wait till next year.
Exactly.
Well, we've got a lot to cover today on Where You Live, so let's begin with property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Home Furniture and Abbey Floor Coverings. Their showrooms are staffed with professionals who will help you choose what you need to fit both your lifestyle and budget. Whatever you need, chances are they'll have what you're looking for. Now, if you wish to avail yourself of special pricing you're not going to find anywhere else, all Where You Live listeners, call Customer Service Coordinator Lori Matson at 952-224-2663. Our first story comes out of Los Angeles, California. And it says that there are new neighbors who are suing an elderly couple over trees in order that they can gain a better view at their property. And that says that there was a heartbroken couple, and of course this all is in a homeowners association. A heartbroken couple had to have 8 trees on their property cut down after their new neighbors successfully sued, claiming the trees were obstructing their view of the valley below. The trees which were sawed last Tuesday were a subject of a lawsuit by the recent residents who said the trees obstructed the view from their new home. Now, this elderly couple, the Whiteheads, they're 87 and 89 respectively, have lived in their home in this homeowner association for over 3 decades. And they're just sick over this. And what we're talking about, this is different. This is not a condominium or a townhome, but single-family detached homes. So everybody owns their own home, free, and it's not attached to anybody else's home. They also have a yard that is just theirs as well. Apparently, though, in the governing documents of this particular homeowners association is something very specific, and it was stated from the very get-go that if trees are in the way of obstructing someone else's view, then they can be asked to be taken down. So what we have here is something that, according to the governing documents, was something that was completely fine. This was the agreement, the private contractual agreement between everybody moving into this homeowners association. But unfortunately, as is the case probably with a majority of the HOAs that I'm aware of, people don't read their governing documents before moving in, and they don't understand what it is that they are obligating themselves to. Well, in this particular case, you have an elderly couple who's been there for decades and have enjoyed their home and have enjoyed the trees up. And now, all of a sudden, a new neighbor comes in and asks for the trees to be cut down. Now, the elderly couple said, I don't understand how something like this works, how this could happen. And it's unfortunate because they really didn't read or understand their governing documents and what it was that they were agreeing to. But the part that I guess I would like to address today, and that is what seems to be said in society, I think, as a whole. Maybe I'm just getting a little bit too jaded sometimes, but I just don't see people going out of their way to be neighborly or trying to connect with one another. Homeowner associations are becoming more and more popular. They say about 20% of the entire population in the United States lives in some type of HOA. But one of the things that is popular about it is also a dynamic that is set up that doesn't help our society, and that is everybody in a HOA, it's very easy just to drive into their garage, into their home, and then not pay any attention or connect with any of their neighbors around them. I remember a number of years ago, my wife and I bought a lake home in Wisconsin from her parents, and the neighbors on the other side were people who'd been there for decades. And soon as my wife and I had purchased this cottage, the neighbors on to the right of us came over and said, "Oh, by the way, you see this large tree that's dead between our cabins?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think that's on your land, so you need to take it down before it destroys our homes." I mean, this happened within the first few weeks of after purchasing the cottage.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly. That was the big welcome. But you know what? My wife and I talked it over, and we realized relationships are more important than making this the last stand that we were going to push back on the neighbors. And so it was indeed a dead tree. So we ended up spending a few $100 having some people come by and cut it up and take it away. Overall, I think even though it was kind of costly, I look back and I'm glad that we decided that, you know what, we're not going to be unneighborly. We're going to do that. And because of that, we ended up having a very good relationship with people on that side. And I think some of that is missing with folks today. This couple that was purchasing a home, and this was undeveloped land, and now they're going to have the home of their dreams that is going to be built, and they don't even take the time to go over and introduce themselves to this elderly couple. these are people that are going to be their neighbors. Neighbors are supposed to look out for one another, aren't they? Aren't your neighbors the kind of people that are supposed to say, hey, if you're gone, I'll pick up your newspaper and pick up your mail while you're gone. Make sure your flowers are watered, and you do the same for them. But in this particular case, what was the most important thing to this new couple moving in is what they wanted, when they wanted, and how they wanted it. And in this particular case, what they wanted ended up being more in line with the governing document, so they had a leg to stand up on. But unfortunately, they didn't do very much in terms of building any kind of relationship with this elderly couple. And my thinking is, when I read a story like this, is where was the decency, the civility of people coming together to see if they could work out some sort of compromise where everybody could live? These people wanted some trees cut down so that they could have a vista view of other trees far away. So they didn't want to look at the trees close to them. They wanted to look at the trees that were far away from them. So they're asking people so they were demanding that they be cut down. Could things have been done a little bit differently? Could things have been trimmed instead of just removed? Could there have been possibly a chance to work something out? Well, we never know. Why? Because that's not where people want to go today. People want to go immediately to a lawsuit as opposed to trying to work things out. And in the long run, I tell you, whether there's trees or no trees, I think it's better that we work on the relationships with people that are our neighbors and can become our friends. I think that's going to be a lot more long-lasting and a lot more valuable. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, I've got another tree story for you that happened here, but I'll go into that after these messages.